Hey everyone, today I'm going to be doing my March wrap up and a quick reminder of the 2 books I'll be reading in April as part of my SFF Reading Project. I read a total of 6 books in March, which was pretty good. I'd hoped to read a few more, but real life got in the way, so obviously I couldn't do quite as much reading as I'd hoped. Oh well, these things happen. But April will be much better as I'm a lot less busy in April, thankfully. So, onto the books. The first of which is an actual graphic novel, which for me is unusual, as you may have realised by now, and that is V for Vendetta by Alan Moore and David Lloyd. This is the paperback version, and I really enjoyed it. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. I might have been a bit overly generous with that 5 stars because I'm really not used to graphic novels at all. I thought I'd start with this as part of my graphic novel idea because I've watched the film many years ago, and the film, as many other people would probably agree, is brilliant. The graphic novel is really good. It's darker than even I expected. I mean, the film's not exactly light, but this is darker and grimmer, but it was still really well done, and the pictures in it, which are that, if you can see that overly well, look really nice. It's another dystopian type world where a really severe political parties got into a position of power in England, and the population is suppressed and treated really poorly, and this one figure who you just know as V, hence the title, he's trying to fix the problems, let's say. I'm not going to say any more because obviously it will give away the plotline. The second book was One Shot by Lee Child. This is the 9th Jack Reacher book. It is an action thriller, and this is actually the book that the film, which was just called Jack Reacher, which starred Tom Cruise, made about 4 years ago now. Yeah, it was based off this book. The film was bad. The book is really good. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. Basically, and in all the Jack Reacher books, Jack Reacher is a ex-American military policeman, and he's now just wandering around America, exploring and seeing the country, and he keeps getting into situations. Some of them are initiated by him accidentally, some of them other people are purposely involving him just because he happens to be there, and I really enjoyed it, and to be honest, I enjoy all of them, so I will be reading more of these throughout the year, so don't be surprised to see more Lee Child books this year. The next book is the science fiction book of my SFF Reading Project, and that is 2001 A Space Odyssey by Arthur C. Clarke. This I really enjoyed. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. It is a story about exploration. Something is found on the surface of Mars, a big obelisk. It lets out a signal, and basically a mission is started to find out where this signal is going to and why. On this mission there is 2 astronauts and the computer HAL 9000, and the HAL 9000 is more well known because of his appearance in the Stanley Kubrick film of the same name. The film was actually released 6 months before this was released. They were done in conjunction, and indeed Arthur C. Clarke and Stanley Kubrick directly collaborated over the course of a year or 2 to make both the book and the film script. And the film, which I did watch, part of a watch along as well, was also brilliant. It was very much of its time. You could tell it was made many years ago and not recently due to the effects and such, but it was just brilliant and really fun. And the person that I watched it with, I'm glad they were there because it made it even better. The next book is The Martian by Andy Weir. This is being mentioned everywhere on BookTube at the moment, seemingly. I keep hearing about it pretty much every few weeks, and now I've finally read it. And frankly, I thought it was really good. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. I didn't give it 5 because I thought the ending was a bit convenient for my liking, but it was still brilliant regardless of that little flaw. And I am indeed looking forward to the film which they are making at the moment, I believe. I think the idea is for it to be released at the end of this year, 2015. I could be wrong, of course. The idea of the book is one guy, Mark Watney, gets stranded on Mars after a mission goes wrong, and he has to survive for a very long time on Mars. And obviously he only has limited equipment and supplies and oxygen and all that sort of thing, and it's all about him and his survival. And he's got a really sarcastic sense of humour, Mark Watney has, and it's just really fun to read about. I really enjoyed it a lot. The fifth and penultimate book is Queen of Sorcery by David Eddings. This is the second Bulgariad book. There are 5 of them in total. I read the previous one last month, I think it was, and I will definitely be reading the next 3 in the series because I gave this 4 out of 5 stars, the same as I gave the first one. I really liked it. It does feel like only part of a story, but that's not a major fault. You know, it's just the way these books were written. I think they were written on purpose to be a long, slower story, which is still really fun. They are fantasy novels about one character called Gavian, who is a young teenage boy, and his coming of age journey throughout the land on a epic quest with magic and enemies to fight and that kind of thing. And obviously he's got companions with him, that sort of thing. It's very traditional fantasy, but a really good fantasy book, and one that I would highly recommend. Obviously only if you've read the first one and liked it, of course. The sixth and final book that I read in March was Howl's Moving Castle by Diana Wynne Jones. This is the HarperCollins Children's Edition, which I really like, especially as there are 2 other books in the same world and have the same cover design. So if I do like it, which I did, I may buy the other 2. I'm undecided yet. I gave this 4 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. It's a really good book. It's a bit odd at times. I can't even put into words why, because I'm not sure, to be honest. And that stopped it from getting 5 stars. But I really did like it. The ideas in it are really interesting. The writing style is brilliant, and the language and the way the characters interact are all really good. The one character that I personally like the most is Calcifer, which is a fire demon, which is basically a giant flame in a fireplace. Sounds odd, but it makes perfect sense when you read the book. And it's just a beautiful, simple-ish tale, and one I'm really glad I've read. Whether I'll read the other 2, which is Castle in the Sky and another book that I can't remember the name of, which I'll put up on the screen, I'm not sure yet. But I really did like this though, so I may well read the other 2 actually. Oh, and I also watched the Studio Ghibli film of this as well, which is quite a bit different, especially after the start from the book. But it's really good, and obviously the Studio Ghibli art style is simply amazing, as Studio Ghibli pretty much always is. I mean, I'm a big fan of Studio Ghibli, by the way, so I really enjoyed the film as well. So that's it for the 6 books I've read. Now I'm just going to tell you a quick reminder of the 2 books I'll be reading as part of my SFF Reading Project in April. The first of which is The Martian Chronicles by Ray Bradbury. This is only a smallish book, so it shouldn't be anything difficult to read. It's one that I've been wanting to read for ages, and especially more Ray Bradbury. I've only read one of Ray Bradbury, and that is, unsurprisingly, Fahrenheit 451. So I want to read something else by him, and this is a different type of book to Fahrenheit. So I'm very eager to read it. It looks and sounds brilliant. And it's odd because this is another Martian book. So I've read The Martian, The Martian Chronicles, and 2001, which briefly mentions Mars. So it's like the Martian month at the moment, apparently. And finally, the fantasy book for my SFF Reading Project is The Eye of the World by Robert Jordan. This is the first book in the Wheel of Time series. There are 14 of them in total. Robert Jordan wrote 11 of them, I believe. He died after writing the 11th, and the final 3, if I remember correctly, were finished and indeed written by Brandon Sanderson. This is a bit of a bigger book compared to the others, but it still shouldn't be a major problem, and it sounds really, really good, and I'm hoping I really like it. And if I do like it, by the way, I will be reading them almost one per month until I finish the whole series, probably. And if you'd like to read either of these 2 books with me as part of Buddy Reads, because that is indeed what they are planned as, then you can use the hashtag on Twitter, SFF Reading Project, which I'll put on the screen as well, and in the description below. So join me to read these, and we can have a really interesting talk. I mean, they both sound really interesting books, so they should be really fun. So that's actually it for this video. My links for my Twitter and my Goodreads will be in the description below, otherwise there. And that's it. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you another day. Bye for now.